And I'm being asked very often, what is the best approach to handle vendors that are currently not meeting the marketplace? Well, for a start, I am going to give you some dialogue in a second that gives incredible results when you've actually done the 3 or 4 things before the scripts or dialogues. So let me run through those. The first thing is every listing at the moment needs to have a set to sell meeting. This is the complacency creep issue of the year, right? Just snuffed out. 2020, 2021, somewhere along the line, we stopped having these set to sell meetings. Well, they got to come back in. They've got to come back in because like milk and bread's got expiry dates. So some of our practices that we were doing last year, it's expired. Can't do that anymore. Use by dates happen. You actually need a proactive approach to set the vendor up to understand what's going to happen in the next 4-8 weeks of their marketing campaign. So you need to do a set to sell meeting. In addition to that, if you're not doing a vendor report on a Monday, you're out of the game. You're actually negligent. And you're actually performing as a substandard agent in a marketplace that needs a high standard agent. Raise your standards, you raise your levels, you raise your service, and you raise your income. Income is the reward for great levels of service. So guys and girls, let me give you the script or dialogue. After you've done a set to sell meeting, after you've done vendor reports, and after hopefully you've given them some offers, right? Low offers, they blame the market. No offers, they blame the agent. You use this bit of dialogue. Mr. and Mrs. Vendor, I want to let you know, at the moment, I don't think your property is actually in the market. I think it's sitting on top of the market. And I want to let you know that your property has now become the suburbs reference point to help sell other properties. That's right. You're being used by other agents and other vendors to show good value in their property. And what I'm going to suggest is that we need to realign the value of your property by 10%, because I'd rather be sitting with you next week negotiating an offer than having no offer. And I've got to tell you, the figure we use is important because people buy with their heart, they buy emotionally, but they filter with their brain. They actually filter which properties to look at. And what I'd like to do, Mr. and Mrs. Vendor, is to make sure that we have a price that excites them. Because I know that we've got your vendor price, but I want to let you know what we need to do is get a buyer excite price. Because if we get a buyer excite price, we can then get these buyers together, emotionally fall in love with your property, and through competition to buyers, I'll be able to get you a decent figure in this market. And what I'd like to do, Mr. and Mrs. Vendor, I'd like to make a shift for you. I'd like to shift you from being a vendor to being a buyer. Because if we can get you sold now, you're going to have the best buying opportunities that we would have seen in over 2 decades. Between September and November, there's going to be an oversupply of listings. And I've got to say to you, we're probably going to be having 2 or 3 rate increases by then. So what I want to do is get you sold now. I want to get you sold right now where buyers have been rated financially on the current interest rate. In a few months' time, they're being re-rated. They're going to have less money. And we all know in business, less money equals lower offers, equals lower sale prices. I think what I want to do right now, Mr. and Mrs. Vendor, is get you sold under our current conditions. Guys and girls, that's the dialogue you need. That's the dialogue you need. And if you've ever got a listing that you're just trying to close and you just can't get it done and can't get it across the line, the vendors just won't. Sometimes it's $20,000 short. You need good dialogue there. Mr. and Mrs. Vendor, at the moment you want $1 million. We've got an offer of 980. We've done our best to narrow that gap. Right now, I need you to ask yourself this question. Do you want to buy back your property or do you want the cash? Or a better question, Mr. and Mrs. Vendor, is, do you want to risk 98% of your money that I can give you now to try and risk and win 2%? Does that sound like a smart commercial thing to do in this market? Like, would you literally go to the casino and put $980,000 down with the hope that you're going to get another 20? Mr. and Mrs. Vendor, cash is king. Let's get you the cash. Guys and girls, I want to let you know, in this marketplace, deal makers survive, order takers go down. And I want to let you know that today, being the last day of the financial year, is a golden opportunity to take advantage of two events. The last day before Real Estate Gym closes. The gym is closing. We opened it up for a financial year membership intake. That closes. Go to realestategym.com.au, get a tax deduction. So basically, it's going to cost you half of $650 if you're at the highest tax bracket. So for $350, $330, I'm your coach for the next 12 months. If you've been delaying joining the gym, the end of the financial year is probably a good time to take advantage of the government paying about half of your real estate gym membership. For those of you that don't want to pay it up front, there's the monthly option there. You get Prospecting Blitz every Tuesday at 11 o'clock. You get every piece of dialogue that I've ever come up with, including the 29 ways to get listings, 43 best scripts and dialogues, and guys and girls, of course, every letterbox template that's going to get you into more doors, plus all those $1 million agent interviews I've been doing. It is the Netflix of real estate. It's all there for you. I'll be your coach for the next 12 months. So jump onto realestategym.com.au, claim your membership, and let's have the best financial year of your life next financial year.